This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
We are having fun in the studio today. Today's
That's
guest,
not me.
Today's guest, that was not Matt. He can't do that even if he wanted to. But is my mother.
Hello.
So last week we had your wife. This week we have your mother. Do you have a sister or an ex-girlfriend that we're going to be bringing on?
I have all the above. But I think it might stop with my mother. Maybe my pops. My pops might come on, but yeah.
I think this should be a regular thing where the guest has to bring in some kind of treat. Like your mom brought in chocolate chip cookies. Next week, I think in order to be on the show, they have to bring in some kind of treat.
Hey, I'm not opposed to that.
I'll come again and bring my chocolate chip cheesecake.
Ooh, oh my gosh. That's next week, right?
That's the best one. Yeah. It's now
It's now a baking cooking show.
Great Sacramento cooking show.
Yeah.
Baking show. Mama, but you I've been working with Matt now for a while, and what has been your impression, or at least through me?
His question is, my question is, does he talk about me off the air?
Yes, he does, in a very, very positive way. He just has the highest respect and regard for you, and
I respect the hustle.
Yeah, and then
It's
I started
the hustle.
And anyone out there who's more my age, which is 63, do
the hustle.
Yeah,
I thought you
don't remember that song.
I have no idea. Is that like a wedding song?
Did you not play music around the house when he was a kid?
Did we what?
Did you play music around the house when he was a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a musician, so music was on all the time.
Yeah, we were always listening.
I have young kids, so I'm trying to introduce them to stuff, the classics that I listened to when I was a kid.
What'd you listen to?
Well, I listened to I listened to more of the 80s pop. And my wife is more of an old school, like Garth Brooks country music, like Randy Travis, old school country. So we like to try to introduce them to old classic movies, classic songs. But so he complimented me on my hustle, huh?
Yes,
That's
very
interesting.
much. Yeah, a man of integrity, hardworking. Yes.
Because it's true. It's true. You need a little bit of a hustle, especially in real estate, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, that is the.
If you don't have the hustle, you probably won't succeed.
No. So there's a couple things that differentiate a good agent from a great agent. One of them is accountability. Who you surround yourself with. Are they holding you accountable? Are they providing like a roadmap to success? And the other is the hustle. So you can have the best leads, you can have the best systems, you can have the best people around you, but if you don't show up and put in the work, it's all for nothing. So and
there's no passing the buck. It's on you.
Yeah, that's the hard thing. That's the really hard thing. And especially if you are looking to get into real estate or take your career in real estate up a notch, man, it is people are all about balance. Balance this, balance that. How do you balance? And to me, balance is the wrong word. It's more about rhythm. And so when you're launching that career, when you're trying to like when we acquired Tom Davis's team, right? So I bought Tom Dave's book of business, right? He and I are partners, and that increased the rhythm of Valerie in my life, right? The beat, the pounding of the drum increased significantly because now we have to get used to this new cadence, this new lead flow, this new volume of work. And so if you're looking to go beyond where you are currently, you got it. You have to increase the rhythm, and then eventually the rhythm will steady out. Like you think about people like the Vikings rowing, right?
Sure.
Like you see in the movies, them banging the drums and they go faster, and then the drum beats faster. But at a time, the rhythm needs to slow down, and that's something that I struggle with. Valerie's better at wanting to. She drops the anchor a little bit and tries to slow us down, But that's another question we get all the time too. Is like,
because you have two new babies now, right?
Yeah.
2 new children.
Yeah.
They're still really young. You have a wife. So I'm sure that's sometimes a concern of a mom who's our guest today is, son, how do you still maintain the balance? Because family is really important.
Very important. And that, again, was one of the reasons why I went into teaching, was because I wanted to spend that time as much as I could with the children, because we all know that even though when we are in it, we think it's going to last forever, but it doesn't. Mm-hmm. It goes by so fast. And so at the end of your life, you don't want to be having regrets and go, gosh, I wish I had spent more time with my family.
Right.
So, and in fact, there's the quote about no one on his deathbed ever said, I wish I had spent more time on my business.
Right. And I can see Johnny's mind working right now.
And so
I won't say that.
And so as a mama who is all about supporting, loving, being there for kids and my grandkids, how do you do that? Because in real estate, it's a 24/7, 365 job.
Yeah, you see it from a bird's eye view.
Yeah, you don't get, I mean, if they can go away for a weekend and I can watch the kids, you know, so they can go one night away, it's like, woohoo, party time,
deal.
because they're always on call. And I bet even if they get away, they're getting calls.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, well, by the way, Mama, before I go down into that conversation, I do want to, we talked about how great Matt is, but I do want to build you up a little bit too, because I think you and Dad did a fantastic job raising myself and Paul and Ashley.
Thank you.
There's a lot of people who look critically at how they were raised and their kids and things like that, and I have nothing but great things to say about you and Dad.
Oh,
you guys were always there for us and supported us, and you continue to support us, you know, and just like you watch Jack twice a week, and he loves it, and we like that you guys get to have that time together. So I just want to let you know
Thank you.
publicly on the air that we love you.
Love you too.
But yeah, so
and it's love in action, and so that's the thing is when you're with your children, you need to be there.
Yeah. So my question is, you see the passion of your mom and you realize, like what you just said, that they did a great job.
She set the bar.
Yes,
Yeah.
by making family a priority.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the coin is you have this real strong passion to make Made for More Living the dominant premier real estate company in California, if not in the nation. And so you are passionate about this. Your wife is really passionate about this.
Yep.
And when you're passionate about something, you're doing it a lot. You're spending a lot of your time doing it. And so how do you figure out that balance, especially when you're inviting other people to come be a part of your team? And nobody wants to be burnt out or worn out. They want to be successful. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you ensure those listening that not only can you be successful and be a winner, even be at the top of your field, but also you still have time to make your family a priority?
Yep. So, oh my gosh, that's a deep conversation. But
we got time.
We got time. So I think the most important thing comes with awareness, like knowing where you are in that relationship, where you stand with your spouse, with your kids, and knowing the telltale signs of, hey, there needs to be more invested time-wise into this. So when we first had Jack, our first kid, that was really hard on Valerie and I, because we'd been married for 10 years, and it was just the two of us, just working, grinding, and now all of a sudden there's this new life. And it just threw a wrench in the works. And so actually Valerie and I started going to marriage counseling. And so what we learned in that counseling was that it's an analogy of a cup. So whatever you put into a cup, it'll eventually overflow if you put enough things into it. And what's overflowing out of that cup is what you've, again, put into it. And so what in your relationship, what is flowing out of that cup? Like what are the symptoms of your relationship? Is your spouse happy to see you? Are your kids happy to see you? Are you happy to see your spouse? Like, so what is being put into that cup? And the reason why we like the cup analogy is because it gives a certain sense of accountability and personal like control over it. So I have control over the contents that I'm putting into Valerie's cup. Am I putting love? Am I putting patience? Am I putting attention into her cup? Similarly, she has to be putting stuff into my cup. So that leads us to the next thing. So once you understand the awareness of, hey, why is the child acting this way? Why is my wife behaving this way? Why am I having these thoughts, positive or negative, about the relationship? Like you can start making adjustments. But if you don't even know what's going on and you're just lost at sea, that's really hard. And because then you feel helpless, hopeless, and you don't know what to do.
Right.
So if there's awareness, then there's that. The other thing that has really helped Valerie and my relationship and our business, because it's one and the same. Like if Valerie and my relationship falls apart, the business is non-existent.
Sure.
And so what helped us was a book by a person named Elena Cardone, and she is married to a guy named Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone in the real estate world and the sales world is very, very, very well known. And in this book, she uses the analogy of two Clydesdales. And the Clydesdales, if they're pulling by themselves, they can pull 8,000 pounds. But if they're pulling two Clydesdales pulling together, can pull 24,000 pounds. So more than triple than what they can do by themselves. And so when Valerie and I were starting this business and making that transition from a steady paycheck to, only a 100% commission-based income, there were some problems there, and we had to get on the same page. And so I would say you have to have awareness of where you are in your relationship and do regular check-ins. Mm-hmm. Like Valerie and I aren't the best about it, but we're supposed to do check-ins with each other, have time set aside on Sunday evenings. Like, hey, how's the calendar looking? How did I serve you? How are you feeling about things? And then have that conversation. So awareness, and then being on the same page. Like if you're looking to get into real estate, or if you're looking to start a new business or something like that, and you have to make sure that your spouse and even your kids are on the same page. Like obviously we started this before Jack came on the scene, but if you have children, like sit down and tell them, hey, this is what it's going to look like, because it takes a lot. So what is it? The shuttle uses up the vast majority of its fuel at launch. And then once it's in orbit, it requires very little fuel.
Sure.
And so when you're launching a new business, launching a new career, you have to be on the same page. But even to this day, Valerie and I are about almost 10 years into it, and we barely get away, right? And so that's because our rhythm is fast. We're always growing, but that's not for everybody. So you have to identify what are your goals,
right?
Yes.
Right. And so if Valerie and my goals are in line, and our goals are to grow this team and make it the premier real estate team in the area, then that's good as long as we're on the same page. But if you're looking to get into real estate and your spouse is used to you picking up the kids from school and doing soccer practice while they go golfing, and you guys are not on the same page, it doesn't matter if you have a big goal or a little goal. It's gonna cause problems.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would also add, or I'll ask you this, one of the keys to not getting burnt out and having a balanced life is making sure that you're on a good team, or you have people alongside to help you and understand where you're going. And that's why you are trying to grow your team at Made for More Living, because you know that you work better and more successfully when you're all doing it together, and when you're sharing resources and you're helping each other be successful.
Absolutely. So there's that's a benefit that Valerie and I have had out of the gate, in that there was always two of us. And so we were never an island. We were never alone. And as we grow the team, our main focus is to make agents more productive by focusing on the things that they want to do, which is typically working with clients. They don't want to deal with the paperwork. They don't want to deal with the marketing. They don't want to deal with the lead generation. And just give them the stuff that they're really passionate about, and allow them to focus on that and take that other stuff off their plate to create a little bit more of a work-life balance. But here's the thing is that, again, I just slipped up. I try not to even use that term, the work-life balance term, but everybody in our industry is like the why. They're always talking about the why.
Sure.
Like why? What's your why? Are you doing this for your? But you boil it down, everybody's getting into real estate typically because they like the flexible schedules, and they like the fact that you can make a decent living, and they want to spend more time with their family. And so the whys are all pretty much the same. But if it's all about the why and the whys are all the same, then why doesn't everybody have the same outcome?
Right.
And my personal belief is that why is one side of the same coin, and on the other side of that coin is the what. And what are you willing to sacrifice in order to attain the why? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you're not willing to sacrifice weekends, if you're not willing to sacrifice nights, if you and your spouse are not on the same page, if your kids are not on the same page and understand what you guys are working towards and working for as a family, and you're not on the same page with the what, the why is not going to be enough to pull you through the fire. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. Does that provide any clarity, Mama, or anything you want to add?
Yes. Actually, going back to you saying, as a parent, even though I had a lot of time with you because of my work schedule, as I go back and reflect being a grandmother, what do I wish I could have a redo on?
Oh, that's good.
And there are several things I wish I could have a redo on, but I would say if I could pick just one, it's communication. I wish I had spent more time, just not great amounts of time, but having a time where I just focused on that child and they got to just talk and just say how they're doing, maybe have specific questions to ask them, but just enjoy that child and have them feel like they can talk.
Have them feel seen.
Yeah, because my mom was a professional cake decorator, but she did it out of her home. And so I remember coming home from school and just sitting down and talking to her about my day and everything. And I think that you can spend a lot of time with people, but are you really communicating? Are you really sharing life? So,
yep. And you have to have people around you too that are willing to communicate authentically. So for example, like if there's something bugging Valerie and she's not communicating that to me, then I'll have to do some sleuthing and see what's coming out of her cup. But it really helps if everybody's on the same page. And so we do have a nanny. We have a nanny that helps with us. She's fantastic. And so she told Valerie and I yesterday, hey, Jack's really asking about you guys. Is there a way that we could do lunch together? So later today, we're going to be having lunch together. And so she's going to bring lunch over to the office. And so just having people like that, like you said, Mama, open lines of communication.
People got to communicate.
It changes everything. Absolutely. Back after this.
All right, so you want to move out of state, you want to sell your home, but you don't want to go through all the hassle of finding a real estate agent, doing open houses, yada, yada, yada. You want it to be fast, easy, and simple. Just call up Johnny Jennings with the Tom Daves Real Estate Team. There's a reason why they're #1 in Sacramento, outstanding Google reviews. Hey, you know what? They'll even give you a all-cash offer no matter what kind of condition your home is in. So if you're curious what kind of offers you would get on your home, go to tomdaves.com. That's TomDaves.com, or give Johnny Jennings a call. We trust him. You should too. 855-TOM-DAVES. 855-TOM-DAVES. License number 581837.